General Dunford and Secretary Mattis both, I want to talk about airplanes for a minute. We've talked about aircraft carriers. That's an important part of being ready. You have to have enough planes on those aircraft carriers, and I see in the supplemental that the Super Hornets have been sort of at the top of the non-requested list for a long time, are now on the requested list. I know there are a lot of people that argue that readiness issues need to be addressed by being sure that we have pilot training time and maintenance hours, but also we have to have a line of planes coming along with that. And just a response maybe on how important it is you have both the equipment and the training time that you need.
Senator, the Super Hornet, the ones that we are requesting restore squadrons to the full number of aircraft complement that they need to have in order to fight. But ultimately, we'll have a mix of Super Hornets and F-35s on the carrier decks. So this not only contributes to immediate readiness, it also contributes to the longer-term readiness of keeping the carrier air wings fully capable.
Well, I think the committee's been pretty strident, pretty effective for a while in making those planes available. But as I've talked to both of you about, if you really want them, it's important to ask for them and not say, here's what we'd like to have. We're not asking for it because we're pretty sure you'll get it for us anyway. But seeing that line stay open, really important. It allows the Growler plane also that's part of any future flying package to be there. I don't have a lot of time, so I think I'm going to move on to another topic, which is a bill that we had in our defense authorization bill last year that really would address the needs of families when someone's being reassigned, to create not just the option that you might be able to get a way that your family could stay a little longer at the post you're currently at or go a little earlier, but actually a requirement that if the person serving was willing to deal with their own amount of expense to either go early or stay, that the family would have an option that families now don't have. And, I know that both of you believe that families are the backbone of the military. I'm hoping if we get that legislation in the bill again this time, that we'll have the support of the Pentagon and the Joint Chiefs. There's no cost the way that bill is currently written because the person serving makes the decision that they can either find quarters available to a single individual as their family moves earlier, or they can find quarters similarly available if they move earlier, or they can simply just decide it's so important that my family be able to stay until my spouse's job transitions properly, my kids finish this year of school, or the reverse of that they do that. And I know, General Mattis, you and I talked about this, and you were immediately encouraging in your support of that kind of change. I'd like you both to talk about that.
Senator, we had a good talk in your office. I went back and checked on it. Apparently, it's not budget neutral because of entitlements, so we may have to come in and get legislative relief, which I'm fully committed to doing if that's what it takes, so we don't have to run two different payments to the person for maintaining two households. So I'm not certain why we need legislative relief, and I've got the staff researching it now, but I'm in complete agreement with the program. It's just how do we do it in a way that's consistent with your view of budget neutral, and we will get there.
And I'm sure we can get to budget neutral, and that if that's the kind of legislative relief you need, we'll see that happens. And General Dunford, just a quick story. I was hosting a breakfast for Fort Leonard Wood 2 years ago, when I filed this bill, sat down at a table with General Savre and his wife and General Perkins from TRADOC and a retired sergeant major, mentioned I'd filed this bill. Every one of them had a story when this would have made an incredible difference to their family.
Senator, having executed, I think, in excess of 20 PCS moves and navigated my spouse's employment and education for our children and so forth, I do appreciate what you're trying to do here. And without talking about the specific challenges of this piece of legislation, I think allowing the services to have the kind of flexibility that you were suggesting would absolutely be helpful, and I know would have full support.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.